getting into Mindfulness 101. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is simply moment to moment awareness without judgment. But how often do we get caught up into the rumination of our thoughts? Right? How many times has someone ever asked you, "Hey, are you lost in your thoughts right now?" And you're caught in that daydream of life? How many times have you driven in your car and you get to your destination and you wonder, I don't even remember the drive here? How many times does a moment happen in our life that maybe, we get into a fight with a significant other, or we had a problem at work and the situation is over, but it hasn't left us because it's still left here wandering in our mind. So mindfulness is being aware of our thoughts without judgment, because ultimately so many times we're in our thoughts judging those thoughts as good or bad. And how many times have we started a meditation and stopped the meditation because we said, I just can't stop my thinking? Has anyone done that before? Well, it's completely normal. It's completely normal to have thoughts while you're meditating. Even the most seasoned meditators still have thoughts while they're meditating. So while we're practicing mindfulness and meditation, some of the things that is happening is we're increasing our focused attention. So our ability to concentrate. So if you have ADHD, or if you lack the ability to concentrate for a significant amount of time, practicing mindfulness, practicing meditation is the practice of focusing our attention on an anchor, which usually we use our breath as an anchor to bring ourselves back into the moment. So it is a tool, just like going to the gym, you have to exercise to consistently build muscle. Just like in mindfulness, if we want to get to a place where maybe those thoughts aren't coming in as much and they're not being as intrusive, right? We're practicing bringing ourselves back to the breath. Right? And then there's open monitoring. So open monitoring is monitoring our thoughts and sensations without judgment. So what does that mean? Again, sometimes we'll have a thought in our head, and instead of just letting it go and acknowledging that it's a thought, we attach emotion to that thought. So we're judging that thought. However, thoughts are coming in, and they say on average we have about 6,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts. So if we attached our emotion to every single thought that comes through our mind on a daily basis, thoughts are like passing clouds in the sky. If you just recognize them, let it pass by, another thought's going to come, right? So the more we get used to practicing, hey, here's a thought, anchor myself back to my breath without judgment. It's not good and it's not bad. It's just a thought. It's just a cloud passing by. Okay, and this is all proven through scientific peer-reviewed research showing that it reduces stress and anxiety, improves focus and concentration, enhances emotional regulation, and promotes overall well-being and happiness. And maybe you've experienced some of that as you've been meditating yourself. So some of the science behind mindfulness, and I'm referencing Holtzel from 2011 and Goyle from 2014, and these are peer-reviewed scientific research articles that I've pulled from my academic website database that I have at my university. And what these studies show is that over an 8-week period of practicing mindfulness consistently from 30 to 45 minutes a day, that it actually increases the gray matter in the brain. And this is linked to increased in learning, memory, emotional regulation, and the ability to reduce our stress, anxiety, and depression. So this is not just a fad, or this is not just some woo-woo stuff. This is now proven scientifically to actually change the brain, which is really neat, because have we all heard this saying that once you get past 30, That's it. You are who you are. You can't change, right? Has anyone heard that before? Is it just me? Yeah, we've all kind of heard that, right? But this is not true. This is not true. We can change our brain, okay? And research shows us this. So here, overcoming some of the common challenges, because I hear this a lot, is mind wandering. So whenever we're meditating, it's completely normal for our mind to wander. Okay, but the goal is to redirect our attention. Another thing is restlessness, a lot of movement. I like to shake my legs a lot. I'm sort of fidgety, right? But the idea is to notice when your body is getting into that fidgety, restless state and to calm your body. And this is quite normal, and the goal is, again, when you're having the thoughts come up, you're having the restlessness come up, to not judge it. It's not good or it's not bad. It's just happening, and just guide yourself back to your breath as the anchor. One thing that comes up is boredom, right? You're like, this meditation thing, it's really boring right now. I'd rather be doing the thing, I'd rather be gardening. I'd rather be taking care of the chores. I'd rather be playing with the kids. And we can have that experience of just sitting there. But they say that boredom is actually a sign of losing yourself, because when we're busy, we have a sense of self. We have a sense of identity. So leaning into boredom, actually, life is quite miraculous in the moment when we're thinking about our breath, right? Think about the miracle of everything that is happening for you to breathe in oxygen in just that moment. There's a lot of things happening for us to just take in that one breath, but all too times we're just running around being so busy that we don't even think about the miracle happening every moment. So when we lean into boredom, we can actually see the miracle happening right now. Doubt, trust the process and be patient with your progress. Sometimes we meditate and and we're feeling that it just didn't do anything for us, that it wasn't good. Or we just feel like life has gotten too busy. We got away from our mindfulness practice. So what's the point? We couldn't do it before. Like, I'll never be able to get that down. And these are all, again, the ruminating thoughts, the judgmental thoughts. And I encourage us to be able to recognize those thoughts as they come up as not helpful, right? They're not helping us, right? And we can step into just 1 minute of mindful breathing. We always can step into mindfulness any moment throughout the day. It doesn't always take just sitting on the cushion to be able to do that. So the role of the breath in mindfulness is a constant anchor. Our breath is always with us. So the more we practice using our breath as an anchor, the more we'll be able to respond in everyday life, right? Again, as we're practicing mindfulness, we're changing our brain. Okay, so we're actually changing our brain, and we're conditioning our brain to respond in a different way. So when we used to respond with maybe anxiety, stress, fear, we might still initially respond that way. However, we now conditioned our brain to now come back to our breath as an anchor to relieve that stress. Because when you pay attention to your breath, when you feel stressed and anxious, you're taking short breaths. When you're relaxed, you take nice, deep breaths. So if you can control your breathing, you can control your current state. Does that make sense? Perfect. So we're going to get into our first guided meditation practice. So I just want to encourage you all now to get comfortable. We're going to do a breath meditation. So we're going to focus on our breath. It's going to be 5 minutes. And this is not going to be a guided meditation. It's going to be completely silent. We are going to do another meditation towards the end of this. That's going to be another 5 minutes, which will be guided. However, I want to break a little bit of a barrier, because I know we all have been using, most of us have been using the Mindful Buddy app here. And there's a certain level of comfortability we can get even with an app, right? And I want to just have us all sit in silence with our thoughts for 5 minutes. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, perfect. So there's going to be a timer on the screen. It's going to play a ding. Okay, it's going to play a ding at the beginning. It's going to play a ding in the middle, and it's going to play a ding at the end. Okay, so you're going to hear three dings. Okay, and I'm just going to play it real quick so you hear it before we start. So are y'all able to hear that? And then I'm just going to show you right there. So it plays at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Again, you're going to hear a ding again, and then another one right at the end. Okay, so that way you know when it's at the middle of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Does that make sense? Can I get a thumbs up if that makes sense? Okay, perfect. Lots of thumbs up. Love it. All right, everybody. If you want to turn your camera off, if you feel more comfortable that way. If not, I'll leave my camera on. So if you want to, stare at me while I'm meditating, completely fine. Um, but all right, let's go ahead and get relaxed. I'm gonna start the timer here in just a moment. You're not gonna hear anything from me, and here we go. All right, everybody. I felt like that 5 minutes went by pretty quick. How's everyone else feeling right now? Um, I'd love just to hear from some people. What was your experience like during the meditation? Did you notice your mind wandering? How often? How did it feel bringing your attention back? Did you gain any insights about your thought patterns?
Yeah, if I'd like to speak. So
Yes, please share.
I'm used to guided meditation, so um, it made me realize how slow 5 minutes can feel when you are left alone to your own thoughts. Because um, someone who's practiced meditation before and then, you know, being brought back to it in a different manner, kind of left me to wander. So for the first 2.5 minutes. First minute, I thought that I was trying to navigate on the right thought track, and then I started to wander a bit, and 2.5 minutes kind of brought me back to where the second 2.5 minutes was more of a bit of wider introspection and less panic, more focus and just wandering and not putting pressure on it. Whereas guided meditation kind of leaves less open to interpretation. So the silence was kind of enlightening for me. It went very slow for me.
Hmm. So everyone has a different experience, but I appreciate you sharing, Rylan. I'm glad that you're able to notice all the things that arose. I see Don put in the chat, I had a better experience with that. My mind did wander, but I decided that was okay because I was sitting with my thoughts. I love that. I love that sometimes when we just say, it's okay. And we kind of let that judgment roll off and not be a burden on our shoulders. And we have a little bit of a different experience. Would anyone else like to share? How was their experience? What did you notice during the meditation? Please go ahead. Just unmute yourself if you'd like to share.
I want to say something.
Please.
I feel like I'm in agreement with Rylan,
Mm,
like partially, because I feel like until I had the Mindful Buddy app, I did nothing but guided meditation. So going into having the app, I relied heavily on the guided meditation. But because of the app and the unguided versions, I've been recently like exploring through that more. So it wasn't as difficult, but going into that transition from a guided to an unguided is definitely like different because it does give your brain a lot of roaming. It's like you don't have that little reminder of someone saying, "Oh, hey, like, now bring your thoughts back. If you wandered away, come back." Like you have to be like self-aware about it and make sure that you have the discipline to bring yourself back to the moment.
mm. Yes, very true. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
We'll let one more person share if anyone cares to share. I think I see Tanya put in the chat. I just sat with my thoughts. Quieting them is hard at the moment when I do unguided, but they bring me to tears, which I knew they would, and is why I went off camera. My heart goes out to you, Tanya. I understand sometimes meditating can bring up, distressful thoughts. We can, ruminate about the past and painful situations. So my heart goes out to you, but I just encourage you and sit in those emotions and to be okay with it. It's okay. We're all emotional beings, and we all, one thing that we all go through as human beings is we all suffer, and we're all suffering in some way. And but we deal with our suffering in a healthy way. And the more that we can be in this present moment, realizing that this moment is actually okay. We've had difficult moments in the past and we might have difficult moments in the future. But this moment right now, together with all of you, this is a good moment. right now. So I appreciate you being here and sharing, Tanya. Thank you. Um, all right, so let's keep it moving forward now. So we're going to get into the body scan meditation next. So what are the benefits of the body scan meditation? Well, relaxation and stress reduction. Whenever I have trouble sleeping, I do a body scan meditation, and it's just like after a few minutes, I just go right out. Enhanced body awareness. One thing I've really noticed over the last couple of years of doing a body scan is I can really pay attention to like the different soreness of my body, and I'm really able to pay attention to things I might not have paid attention to and give myself a little bit more self-care and love, like noticing tension in my shoulders and my neck and just relaxing a little bit more. Like never noticed how much tension I carried up in my shoulders until I started doing the body scan meditation, and I was really able to start relaxing a little bit more in my shoulders. Release physical tension, which I sort of just pointed out with the shoulders, and overall just improved well-being, improved self-regulation. One thing I notice, if I'm, as my emotions change, if I experience anger, sadness, a lot of the times I feel that in my chest, right? So if I'm starting to feel anxious or stressed, I can feel the bodily sensations happening, and I can actually point out, oh, that's stress in my body that I'm feeling right now. So I can become more aware of what's happening here and also throughout my body. Okay, so we're going to do another practice right now. We're going to do a guided meditation now, body scan. So I'm going to be doing the guided meditation. I'm going to have some music playing in the background, so maybe you all will have a little bit of a better experience through this meditation, not left so much with your thoughts. But we're going to start focusing on our feet and our legs, and we'll work our way up through the body as much as we can through the 5 minutes, okay? So I'm not going to talk a whole lot, okay? I'm just going to simply sort of tell us where to focus your attention on your body. So the goal here is rather than focusing your attention on your breath, right? The goal is when you close your eyes, you might start to focusing on your breath, but I want you to start focusing on like your left foot. And what does your left foot feel like with the pressure on the ground? Or however it is, if it's dangling on a chair, right? So I just want to give you some preface before we start the meditation so you sort of understand. And then what I'll do is I'll say, okay, now we'll go to the calf. And you'll start to focusing on the calf muscle. And we'll just work through the body that way, and we'll start focusing on the different parts of the body, okay? So let me pull up the next slide. Go ahead and get yourself in a comfortable position. If you want to turn off your camera, go ahead and turn off your camera. I'm going to start the music here, and we'll get okay, so just go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice breath in through your nose. And just release nice and slow. I want you to start focusing your attention on your left foot. Start noticing the pressure on the bottom of your left foot. You might notice thoughts coming up, just letting them pass on by and bringing your attention back to your left foot and the sensations and the pressure you're feeling. Then we'll gently start to focus our attention on our other foot, feeling the sensations, pressure, maybe feeling the coolness if you don't have socks or shoes on. Does the coolness of the ground feel like on your feet? Making our way up to our calves, focusing on tension, in the muscles of our calves. If you have any sort of thoughts, it's completely okay. Just bring yourself back to the calves once again. Now bringing your attention to your kneecaps. Knees, they support us all day, gliding, moving. And if more thoughts come in, just guiding ourselves back to our anchor. And making our way to the thigh muscles. Noticing any tension that might be there. Just relax attention. We're making our way to our glutes. And now most of us might be sitting, so feeling that pressure on the cushion as we sit, and the sensation of the different muscles in our glutes as we sit in that pressure. Hey everybody, that ended the 5 minutes. Feel free to open your eyes when you feel comfortable. Just sort of take another deep breath, let it go, relax. Awesome. Well, I'd love to hear from a couple of more people, if you don't mind sharing. How was that body scan experience different than the previous meditation? I see Arya is giving us the thumbs up. Did anyone like that meditation more or less than the breath? I'd love to hear from you, Heather, maybe if you don't mind sharing. I see your cute dog.
Yeah, sorry, this is my husband's service dog.
Aw, he's adorable. What
Thank
is,
you.
what's his name?
She,
Her name.
Hazel.
Hazel?
Yeah.
How was that for you,
Um,
Heather?
it was good, definitely a lot easier to stay focused when you're trying to think on something.
Hmm. Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
having that guide help you come back from the thoughts.
Yeah.
How was it as far as focusing on your body versus the breath?
Um, I prefer to focus on the breathing because I don't know. Like I have problems with body scan because like I have chronic pain, and so like I always want to go to just there, that I don't really focus on what's going on other places.
Mm.
So I do enjoy that it helps me focus on other places that I'm not usually attuned to or not paying attention to.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you
Uh-huh.
sharing. And great to meet Hazel. I see Dan put in the chat, started to feel really sleepy. I like body scanning a lot. I'm not very aware of my body usually. Love that. Glad you enjoyed it, Dan. Thank you for sharing. Um, I see Swirly said, I know where all my aches are. Fair enough. It will definitely point out where the aches are. But I think sometimes the point of the body scan is sometimes our thoughts, we add to the pain that is already there. So sometimes when we just focus in on that one area and we let go of the judgment of the mind and we just let it be and sit with it without judging it, we can actually endure it a lot more. So I encourage you to keep practicing. Um, and there's no judgment here. Every day is a new opportunity to learn from our practice and sit and to keep getting, more and more comfortable with sitting. Jess said felt like TENS machines as we progress up the body. I'm not sure I quite understand that, Jess. Um, so I apologize.
Have you ever found a TENS machine on?
No, I don't know what that is.
So basically, it's electrodes that you put on your body, like a patch or different nodules, and you run electric current through your body. So it felt like just a current running through as we went at the body.
Interesting. Okay. I never heard of that before, but that's,
Oh, it's very wonderful when you're in pain.
yeah. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you had a positive experience, Jess. Um, how about you, Tanya? How was the body scan for you?
It was good. Um, I think, yeah, I'm a lot more, well, I can't say I didn't know I was all tense because I know I'm all tense, but um, there were some areas that I didn't realize were holding tension, I guess I could say. I mean, there's some areas like, my chest and, the balls of my feet, things like that that I knew, but just going through it like just every day, like my calves, I wouldn't have thought about that, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
and
And
a few other places. I'm like, okay, just so it was interesting. I'm ready to close my eyes and go to sleep now.
Well, we're almost done here, folks. I promise I won't be keeping you much longer, so you can absolutely go and enjoy a good night's rest as soon as we're done here. And that's fantastic. And it really does reveal where we're holding so much tension. And the wonderful thing is when we see that there's tension there, we can then start to release it and not to hold on to that tension anymore. There's so many times where I'm just walking and I have my shoulders tense and it's like, just let go and relax. Why are we so tense? And so many times we're getting headaches and things because we're holding on to this tension throughout the day. Um, all right, so we're just going to look ahead real quick and then we're going to wrap up. So next week, we're going to look at recognizing our thoughts, observing emotions, non-judgmental awareness, and cultivating self-compassion. So I encourage you to join if you want to learn how to enhance your relationships using mindfulness. So I hope I'll see all of you again next week. Um, if you're not on our community yet, which maybe most of you are, I would love for you to join. We have a free community on WhatsApp where a bunch of us like to meet, talk about mindfulness, post daily meditation, inspiration, and then of course we have the Mindful Buddy app, which if you're not a beta tester, I would love for you to be a beta tester and get your feedback on it. And with that said, we have just a few minutes left. If you have any questions, I would love to answer your questions if I can. If not, that's the end of the presentation for today. So thank you so much for coming. If you don't have any questions, I really appreciate y'all. It was a wonderful journey into mindfulness this evening.
Thank you very much and have a great night.
Yes, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
How do I get the
Thank
app?
you.
Yeah.
I don't have the app.
Bye. See
Night,
everybody.
all.
Good night. Bye, Tanya. Good night, Heather. Good night, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Good night, Chair.
Good night.